Hey, what's up, guys? My very first video I'm gonna do of my very first video. I am new to YouTube and I want to record a video about the upcoming hurricane season. It's that time of year again to discussing about what the hurricane season will be like. Will it be active? Will it be near normal? Or will it be slightly below normal? Like last year, because last year we had like 11 named storms. Very quiet year. We had some activity off of Africa and very quiet, except for Joaquin, which struck the Bahamas, and very close call to the United States. So, for the upcoming 2016 Atlantic hurricane season, this is why I'm predicting a near normal year. El Nino is weakening. You can see there the upwelling, very cold waters, really just really fading away. That warm tongue is almost gone. It's like I just got an update yesterday. Some like its strength, the strength, El Nino strength is like 7/10 of a degree, 7/10 of a degrees above normal. So yeah, in the weak intensity. It's no longer moderate intensity like we saw in mid-April. We saw it in the moderate intensity, and today it's like in the weak intensity. So yeah, really, and it's almost gone. So by the time it's like half a degree above normal, it's like right at the edge of neutral. Then if it's 4/10 of a degree above normal, it's neutral, but in a warm bias neutral phrase. I'll pick the closest pick I found of what the upcoming hurricane season will be like is 1985. You can see here. 1985 hurricane season. We had 11 named storms, some like 5 hurricanes. 5 to 7 hurricanes, I think. Yeah, 7 hurricanes and 3 major hurricanes. You can see here. You can see here. But most of the activity was in the western Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico. In the Caribbean, we saw only 2 named storms develop there. Off of Africa, only 2. I'm predicting only 1 to 2 named storms developing off of Africa. This is due to the negative AMO. And we've been in the positive AMO phrase since 1995. That explains why hurricane season of the 2000s were very active. And also from the La Nina from 2007. Okay, for my predictions for the 2016 Atlantic hurricane season, as La Nina develops, I realized something. I realized something about the Pacific Decadal Oscillation. The PDO is positive, so that is not favorable for an Atlantic season, because because when a La Nina develops and the PDO is negative, that's more of a tick. That's what the PDO, the Pacific Decadal Oscillation it typically turns negative when a La Nina shows up. But instead of turning negative, it will remain positive for the entire summer. So you can see here, positive PDO, ENSO will go into a La Nina. So for La Nina, this will mean more. You can see the the cool tongue starting to appear on the screen. But still, that was from last month. That's today. You can see here from April 17th to May 14th. So definitely. So when a La Nina typically develops, you get a lot of sinking in the Pacific. Instead of getting lower pressures in the Atlantic, you get a big blob. That's from the warm PDO that we have got, that we've seen. And this is from April 22nd. I want to show you this photo here. You can see that the cold tongue is starting to appear. But look at the Atlantic. Look at the Atlantic Molde-Decado Oscillation. Look at this. This big pool of cool water. Warm in the middle. It's warm in the western Atlantic. And a little bit cool here off of Africa. That's almost a negative Atlantic Molde-Decado Oscillation. Being in its negative phase, that is not favorable for Atlantic season. With a La Nina, that's a positive sign for the Atlantic. But with this around, it's more of a negative. This is more of a. This is a positive sign for the Atlantic. This is a negative sign for the Atlantic. This enhances the subtropical jet to shear sometimes this region over here. Well, El Nino with the PDO, that will cause a quieter hurricane season. But with a La Nina and the warm PDO, there'll be more of a near normal hurricane season. My predictions are between 11 to 14 named storms. That's how much we're getting. 11 to 14 named storms when we get this. Maybe closer to 10. Maybe 10 to 13 named storms. So we may get up to the L name at least. You can see that cold water off of Africa. Cold water. That is negative. But the main focus, I think, for this year will be the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe the Western Atlantic too. Because when the AMO is negative, it causes this pattern of being favorable for the Western Atlantic. Maybe for the Caribbean this year, because La Nina will show up, it'll cause weaker vertical wind shear. So this part of the world will become more favorable as we get into the hurricane season, maybe by August. This is a negative sign for the Atlantic too. It'll cause less as storms come off of Africa. They'll be struggling from the cold water, but still they will dissipate. Maybe if one is very well organized, it could survive into the Caribbean. It could survive by the time it makes it to this area, and then it develops. Maybe when that happens, we could get a landfall this. We could get more landfall and hurricanes this year because of the warm Western Atlantic, the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, negative, cool. There's a lot of cool water here. Some, not all of the Atlantic. And this is the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf Stream, very warm water out here. That is a negative sign. Cold water up here. Negative sign for the Atlantic. That's a negative Atlantic tripole pattern, not favorable. With the PDO in its positive phase, and with a La Nina shows up, you get more of a normal hurricane season instead of an above average year. So I'm predicting more of a near normal hurricane season.
What are you doing?
Than normal.
Oh my God, que caliente está aquí.
This is from... Alright, this came out in early May. This was from early May. You can see here, early May 2016. Look at that, El Nino, 61% effects. Declining, rapidly declining. Look at La Nina. Probabilities really going back to neutral. Next month, we're really in neutral pattern. So I'm like in the May, June, July, August time frame. In the June, July, August time frame, La Nina wakes up neutral, 41%. El Nino, less than 10%. Really. So this is favorable for the Atlantic. And this is great. So and this is the peak of the hurricane season. La Nina is already there in the peak of the hurricane season. Already, but more of a stronger La Nina will be more of a weak La Nina. La Nina will be weak intensity. Something like more of a weak La Nina. You can see here. This is from the NMME. This is from the NMME model forecasters. This is right here. This was typically from last month. 1.3 degrees. I think we're right here. That's what I think. And look at this. Every single one declining towards a La Nina state. Some of them maybe take it to a strong La Nina by the end of the year, and some of them keep it to a weak La Nina state. So that is a big question. How strong will La Nina get, and how long will it last? Because for the hurricane season, this is favorable, but it will remain weak because of the warm PDO, and I don't know how strong will it get. I think we have to wait for more updates. I'll be waiting for more and more updates as we get closer and closer to summer. I'll get more and more updates. I will also do a summer outlook for 2016. I'll do it next week, some like next Friday. So, yeah, definitely an average year. The 2016 Atlantic hurricane season will be more of a normal year. Because of La Nina showing up, the Pacific Decadal Oscillation still in its warm phase. I think it was in its warm phase since 2014. So the AMO is also almost of a negative pattern. It's just off of Africa, it's more of a neutral water temps. And with this showing up, as El Nino dies out, La Nina will be full bloom. We'll have a full La Nina, probably as early next month or midsummer. This is compared to 1998 because, this El Nino died much faster than the 97-98 El Nino, because it died out in June. This one may die out something like at the same time, but it was weaker. This El Nino was a lot weaker than 97-98's upcoming after that. So, as I said, hurricane season starting in 12 days. More of a neutral year because of La Nina, warm PDO, negative Atlantic multi-decadal oscillation. So when the AMO is negative, the Azores high gets stronger. You get a stronger Azores high, and what that typically does, it shears It cranks the winds off Africa and it cools the water off. That's what it does. If it's in its warm phase, the Azores high is weaker, so you get weaker trade winds going to the west, from the west and going east. That is favorable for the Atlantic. Negative AMO, not favorable. So, okay. And this will be the end of my video, my very first video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.